The lawyers who took on Big Tobacco are aiming at realtors and their 6% fee. A takes aim at real estate agents and the tools they use to do business, and housing industry watchers say it could revolutionize the way Americans buy and sell the biggest asset they'll ever own. B on behalf of anyone who sold a home through one of 20 of the largest listing services in the country over the past 5 years. It charges that the homeowners who are ready to sell their properties usually hire a real estate agent to represent them by staging the home, photographing it, adding it to the mills, marketing it, and showing it to prospective buyers. Sellers can really only negotiate with the agent they've hired, while agents representing buyers are generally assured of a standard 3% commission. That means that buyers can choose to be represented by an agent, or to go without one. But in any case, all commission money for both sides of the deal is always paid by the seller, thanks to a 1996 NAR rule known as the Buyer-Broker Commission Rule. In order to list a property on one of the many regional databases known as multiple listing services, agents must abide by the buyer-broker rule. Listing on the mill, the conspiracy has saddled home sellers with a cost that would be borne by the buyer in a competitive market, the lawsuit says. Moreover, as MarketWatch has previously reported, many housing observers call realtors a cartel for the way they purposely steer clients to transactions in which traditional ways of doing business are observed. Related video: real estate agents, tricks of the trade, provided by Money Talks News. Rob Hahn is founder and managing partner of 7DS Associates, a real estate consultancy. In a blog posted, in large part, that's because of the heft of the law firms behind the suit. Both, in response to a request for comment, NAR said, the complaint is baseless and contains an abundance of false claims. The U.S. courts, still, as Hahn put it, past lawsuits have mostly been filed by what he calls ambulance chasers, not the firms behind some of the biggest civil settlements in American history. That view is shared by Cohen-Milstein partner Daniel Small, who called the way realtors do business a long-standing problem. What's different now? Small declined to elaborate on what had prompted the investigation in the first place. It's worth noting, Hahn thinks it's ironic that an innovation that tried to protect buyers, by providing them with representation in a complex and deeply emotional transaction, has soured the market so badly. Many housing what's more likely, he thinks, is that the American system will come to resemble real estate markets in Australia or England, where sellers and buyers each pay their own broker, you or don't. After all, a former lawyer himself, Hahn isn't sure how to handicap this case. But if it prevails, a spokesperson for Realtors said, we believe this case has no merit and will not be commenting further. A spokesperson for Keller Williams said, it's not our policy to comment on pending litigation. A spokesperson, this is an important case for many reasons, Daniel Small said. Among them is
raindrop, drop top, smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.